President William Ruto ought to be scared of the rising popularity of businessman Jimmy Wanjigi just few days after the government officers carried an unlawful raid into his residential home in Muthaiga. Having been a bigger supporter of the viral Gen Z anti-government protest that took the better part of July, Wanjigi is increasingly becoming a darling to many who are advocating for a change in the leadership of this country, and this seems to be causing a shake-up in the higher office. It will be remembered that on Thursday last week, the acting Inspector General of Police in a press conference informed the public that they discovered 4 tear gas canisters, 2 Motorola gadgets, 7 assorted charges for the pocket phone and 1 mobile phone in a vehicle parked by Wanjigi's gate. This led to the arrest of 2 men, namely Calvin Odongo and Duncan Otieno, who were inside the said black Toyota Prado, which the police claimed belonged to Wanjigi and was supposed to be hard evidence against him on sponsoring the nationwide protest, which saw over 50 people unalived. However, despite all efforts to pin him down, Wanjigi has emerged the winner in the government's efforts to shut him down, gaining massive support both on and off social media. The latest example being an interview he did with Citizen TV's Yvonne Okwara. The interview, which according to many appeared to be biased, has since gone viral, but not in a way that will please Ruto and his advisors. Following efforts by Ms. Okwara to turn this into a combat, Wanjigi proved too well informed on the country's economical dilemmas, leaving many admiring his knowledge into issues that matter to Kenyan voters. For example, on the big issue of the country's huge debt, Wanjigi had this to say, and I quote, "If we legitimately owe IMF money and it is in the budget, we will ask those that we paid illegitimately to return it. We have paid almost 10 trillion Kenyan shillings to this debt that is still at 11 trillion Kenyan shillings, never coming down, just growing. This is what creates inflation and recession. If there is anybody that loaned Kenya money, they should have done their due diligence regarding the laws of Kenya, which state that you can only borrow for development. Those organizations and the government must be in collusion. Why are they giving us money?" End of quote. Wanjigi, who unsuccessfully ran for the presidential seat in 2022, also went on to reveal that he will be back to ask for the seat again in the 2027 elections, but warned that we may not even have to wait for that long because Ruto might be ejected from power. The wisdom poured out during this interview left many impressed by Wanjigi and what he stands in terms of leadership in this country, and below are some of the reactions as seen on the X platform. One user on X by the name Lidon said, "This country shouldn't wait until Jimmy Wanjigi is dead so they can listen to what he's saying. Listen to this man and act towards his words, lest we regret as we did with Jacob Juma." Now, another person said, the last thing Jimmy Wanjigi has told Yvonne Okwara at Citizen TV is that we will have elections before 2027 and they will invite him again to the interview for that. Wanjigi is fearless. Yes, just sampling some of the tweets that many people have made on X. Another person said that Ruto must go. I'll maintain that to my grave. If they want me, I'm here. Let them come. Come take me right now. I'm on TV live. Wanjigi says to Yvonne Okwara. And this shows you how much of a fearless leader he is. I'm voting for you in 2027. This was Manucho on X. Then another person said, I am Daniel, said, Wanjigi says the police stole money and jewelry from his house. KNA wants to toll Thika Superhighway. Ruto must go. Wanjigi is the man we need for the 2027 presidential seat. Yes, these are some of the reactions that some are putting on X. People saying that millennials and Gen Zs are behind Jimmy Wanjigi. The regime that is rattled and scared. Another person said, let me see. Deco Generali tweeted and said, this mzee is doing these oversights to the government wholeheartedly. The future shall be nice to him. Viva Jimmy Wanjigi. Another person said, I'm just trying to look for the Jimmy Wanjigi fits the type of a visionary leader that Kenya needs going forward. Well, I think Yvonne was amazed with the last part of a smart and courageous Jimmy Wanjigi. Yes, I'm trying to look. These are some of the reactions, but I would like also to get your reactions down in the comment section below. What do you think of the interview? Did Jimmy Wanjigi impress you with how he answered on matters economical on the country in the issue of debt, or do you think he's just another leader that is cut from the same cloth as Ruto, Uhuru, and all the other politicians that we have elected into the office and they have failed to deliver to their promises? I would like to engage with you guys in the comment section. Be sure to leave something down below.
If you were president, because you tried to run for president in 2022, if you were president today, what would be the 1, 2, 3 things that you would do to solve the crisis in the country?
I'll tell you. The first thing is that I would cut off the chain of debt, because I want you to understand that in as much as all this is going on, I told you we only had a deficit of 1.3. Kenyans, up until today, have paid 9.8 trillion towards that debt and still owe 11 trillion. It is something I would cut off like yesterday. And that frees up government money to be able to provide services to Kenyans and stimulate the economy by taking money back to the people. And that is what you call now economic liberation. The one thing that has not been understood by many people up until today is what period we're in. We went through the political rights period, which is about cutting up this cake for seats, as they are trying to do now. Nobody cares about it because we passed it. The 2010 Constitution gave us our rights. Now we are into the economic rights period, where we define economic models about the bakers of the cake. I, for example, am a capitalist who believes in an essence of social democracy and social justice, okay? And I must create my model. This is the defining moment of ideological economy, ideological politics. I myself will be very interested to see the private sector be the driver. So I'll never take their money. I don't need it. And they themselves.
But there would be consequences, though, of a decision to not pay the debt.
What consequences?
Oh, the consequences of others in the international market looking at Kenya as a risk.
Oh, who told you? Who told you? Because they've created illegalities. Let them say who took that money. Because I want you to show me where that money is reflected in a consolidated fund.